How's it going, folks? Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. We've got the final 4 games of the year in the NFL. The opening line report trying to get you that look at where the number's going to go. We give you the advanced number, what it was before the games on the weekend were played. Still have a couple of games to be played here on Monday night and Tuesday night. And then let you know what the opener is, where we think the number's going to go. Season's flying by. Let's go. Crazy, weird weekend. All right, let's go to Thursday Night Football. How about New England at the Rams? Advanced number was 6.5. It's down to 6. Total in the game's 44.5. Patriots devastated the Chargers. Belichick takes it away from the young quarterback. Newton doesn't light it up through the air. Does get 2 rushing touchdowns. You know, the Patriots, they're methodical and they're finding a way to work with what they've got. But week in, week out can get a little sketchy. The bottom line is here, the Rams starting to feel their oats a little bit here. Big win against Arizona, who's in free fall. We'll talk about them in a minute. But with Donald and Ramsey, that defense is pretty solid. And Goff has a lot of weapons in the running game with Akers and Henderson starting to get going a little bit here. I think this could be a rugged spot for the Patriots. Again, I think this is one of those teams. If they're ahead at the half, you play them. If they're down at the half, you fade them because they're one-dimensional. Don't think they can come from behind. But listen, the Patriots are breathing. Sitting at 6-6. Let's go to the weekend. Houston's at Chicago. So 1.5 is the projected number. 2.5 is the actual opener. 46.5 is the total. Houston, bottom line is they play hard. They come up short against Indianapolis. Watson loses Fuller. That is a big loss. He's got Duke Johnson. But they're playing hard, at least for Romeo Crennel. And the Bears put up some points, but lose to Detroit. What a lost season for the Bears. Started great. It's miserable at the moment. If anything, you could see there's a chance this gets to 3. Not for long. Maybe it comes on and off the key number. Let's go to Dallas. At Cincinnati, 3.5 was the projected number. It's 4. Still waiting on the Cowboys game to be played this week. But Cincinnati, there's just not much in the way of offense. We knew that once Burrow went out, and they did play against a really good Miami defense. But you know what? Cincinnati played hard. Kept it as close as they could for a long time. They are trying, and Dallas still in the NFC East. Now, that Giants win was a big win, knocking off Seattle. So let's see what the Cowboys do leading up to this week. Kansas City, 7.5 at Miami. Expecting the total to be posted in the 49.5 range here. I don't understand. Fitzpatrick was playing really good. Miami's a good football team. Tua's dink and dunk stuff, and Tua going head-to-head with Mahomes. Believe me, this defense is going to have to create turnovers. They may even have to score on defense. And you look at this Kansas City team. Again, I keep using this analogy. They're like a kitten pawing around with a little toy. You know, even though Denver played so hard, it just never felt like Kansas City would lose the game. They do enough to let teams hang around. But what weapons? I mean, if it's not Kelsey, it's Hill. Now Le'Veon Bell's starting to figure it out. Edwards-Helaire is going to probably come back and play this week. And then, oh, by the way, if those guys happen to be covered, I guess you could just throw it to Sammy Watkins or Hardman. They're the best team in football. It's that simple. Miami, again, trying to keep up with the Bills here. But they've had a wonderful season, and it's all based on what that defense does. Arizona, the projected opener was 3. It's 2.5 at the Giants. Total on the game is 45.5. This game's going to come down closer to pick. Let me tell you, the Giants with McCoy, you get a win against Seattle. Arizona they're just flat out in free fall. I mean, they should have lost that Hail Murray game to the Bills, or this losing streak is just completely out of control. And you can see the frustration on Murray's face. Don't sleep on the Giants. They're playing hard. I do think this number comes down. Minnesota wins in overtime against Jacksonville with Cousins. You know, it's not pretty at times, but you still have Cook, who the Jags contained pretty good. And you do get Tampa Bay 6.5. The projected total aside here, 52.5. Tampa Bay, extra time to prepare. And some older legs on that Tampa Bay team. Believe me, the bye could be very beneficial for them at this time of year. I do think you'll see 7s pop up in this spot. Denver at Carolina. Carolina, 4-point favorite, total 45.5. Again, they're playing hard for Rule. Teddy Bridgewater's been solid. They sure miss McCaffrey, but it's a Carolina team's in the game each and every week. And Denver just played a hard-fought Sunday night game. Their defense played their lungs out. Locke has his moments. They get the two-headed running back monster with Lindsey. And, you keep waiting for Melvin Gordon to have a breakout game. He kind of did against Kansas City. I just hate this two running back thing. Find a guy, give him some carries, and let him get into a rhythm. Tennessee, 9.5 at Jacksonville. The total in the game is 53.5. They were absolutely getting destroyed. I mean, destroyed by Cleveland. And you're sitting there going, they played Baltimore and Indy those 3 games, and the schedule finally caught up with them. But you know what? Tennessee didn't quit in that game. They just keep coming at you. They are going to be a matchup nightmare when the playoffs get here because they can run the football with Derrick Henry, and they've got weapons. You know what? They lost the game. But the fact they didn't quit speaks volumes about what Vrabel's doing there. I think 10 pops up in this spot. Total 53.5 probably goes up. Maybe not warranted, but boy, both teams coming out of high-scoring games. Indy, 2.5 at Vegas. Looking at a total in the 54 range. The Raiders, miracle. I mean, come on. The Jets, they were playing the Trevor Lawrence defense. It wasn't just that Ruggs scored the touchdown on the winning score. The play before, Aguilar beat the safeties deep. I mean, you have 4 guys lined across the goal line in that situation. Bizarre. I mean, the Raiders get the win. They need Jacobs to get back in the lineup to get the running game going. He missed the Jets game with an ankle. Raiders stay breathing here, playing with house money. But don't sleep on this Indianapolis team. Well coached. I think Frank Reich, this team's going to make some noise when the playoffs get here. I do believe 3 will surface here. I mean, everybody saw how much the Raiders got blown out by the Falcons and then make the case should have lost to the Jets. Speaking of the Jets, going to Seattle. Seattle better have a stone in their shoe. I don't know what they were thinking against the Giants. Their play calling really conservative and suspect with the kind of year Russell Wilson's having. Give the Giants full marks. 15 was the opener, or the advanced number. 13.5 was the opener. Total's 47.5. Jets punch to the gut, or maybe they figured it was going to happen. I don't know. But I think Seattle might have a stone in their shoe. You can open this thing 13.5. It's going to get through 14. I know that's a big number, and Seattle stunk up the joint against the Giants, but look out. Green Bay, -7 at Detroit. Total's 55. Detroit gets a win. Maybe they get Golladay back, but Stafford had a big day against Chicago. And Rodgers, it's a freak show right now, what he's doing. He and Devontae Adams every week. The Packers are on a roll right now. The total maybe goes up a little bit. It's at 55. I can see this one getting to 56, maybe 56.5. New Orleans, 6.5 at Philly. I think the total probably be in the mid-40s, maybe 46-ish. And here's the thing, Taysom Hill, they're getting the job done against Atlanta. They get the running game going now. They're using the two-headed monster, Murray and Kamara. And Thomas is now becoming a real part of the offense. But the one thing Taysom Hill doesn't do is, Breeze wasn't doing it that much either. It was the over-the-top. Does give you the opportunity to run the football with them. But they've ratcheted things down, more of a physical kind of football team. I definitely think you're going to see 7. Big news with Philly here. You got to believe they're going to go to Jalen Hurts because he came in, he threw a touchdown late in the game against Green Bay. It's time. Let's see what Hurts can do for you. The funny thing is, though, Wirtz got that big balloon number in his contract coming up next year. You better find out now about the kid. Atlanta pick against the Chargers. That was the projected opener. It ends up opening 2.5 Atlanta, total 49.5. Chargers got absolutely drilled by the Patriots. Wasn't a fair fight. Belichick chess match took everything away from Herbert. Chargers finally, all those close losses, clock management, some goofy things happening there. And then Atlanta, this is a team that does play hard. They have played hard for Raheem Morris. I don't know that this gets to 3. I think there might be a little belief the Chargers could get a bounce back game in them, especially an out-of-conference game. Washington at San Francisco. Looking at the Niners, 4.5 projected total. We're anticipating something around 44 here. Washington freshened for the game. San Fran short week. And coming have the Monday night game with Buffalo at the time of this taping. Don't know how it goes. All the money's come in on San Francisco for a game. But don't forget, they've relocated now to Arizona for these games. And Washington's playing hard. Niners trying to get healthy. But the Niners are still breathing, and Washington knows they need to win to keep pace, with the Giants. So it's actually an interesting game. Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. 2.5 was the advanced line, and they make it 1.5. Pittsburgh favored on the road. I think this number comes down to pick, and I could even see the Bills going off a slight favorite in this game. I think Buffalo, I don't know what happened on the Monday night game. I'm a little leery of the Bills against the Niners, looking ahead to Pittsburgh. But I think the Bills had this Sunday night home game and wanted Pittsburgh to come in unbeaten. And I think they've had that one circled for a long time, and it'd be a real come-out party and let everybody know that they believe they're in it to have an opportunity to make some noise when the playoff gets here. And the pressure mounts and mounts and mounts with each passing week. But we'll see. We'll see what Pittsburgh can do here, having a great season. But I do think the Bills are going to be really fired up for a home Sunday night game in Orchard Park. Just hasn't happened in forever. And then the Monday night game waiting on Baltimore. They were an advanced number of 3. We're looking at pick. And the total on the game, we're thinking around 50. Baker Mayfield, Chubb, Hunt, Landry's really picked up his game since OBJ went out. Hey, listen, when we talk about Tennessee being a matchup nightmare because they can run the ball, hey, listen, the Browns can do it too. You've got a running game with Chubb specifically. How about Cleveland? I think maybe we're beyond the point where they're overachieving. Let's see what happens with Baltimore in their game leading in here. This is a number could come down below 3. I see money coming in here on the home dog because the Browns are making the case that they're for real. It's an interesting stretch run upon us, trying to get you ahead of the number. That's what we do here with the opening line report. I'm Brian Blessing in Las Vegas. Always thrilled to be with you right here at VegasInsider.com.